Welcome to A Mason's Work, the podcast where we review Masonic symbols and illustrate how they can be used to solve problems in everyday life. With your host, Brian Mattox, a proud member of the Craftsman Online Media Network.
So they call time the great leveler, and it is very true in the Masonic sense that we use the level in many ways to describe time. We will use the 24-inch gauge to describe your use of time or your understanding of time. But in the second degree, we talk about time quite differently. And so the understanding that you are mortal and that the reality is your work will find its place in time and it will be either timeless or through the process of time passing will fail to stand the test of time. When we are going through our degree work as Masons, I think the big conversation there has to be evaluating the work that you're doing in the context of will this stand the test of time? Will folks look back on this? Will I look back on my work here? And will it be dated? Will it demonstrate a belief set that is antiquated? Will it demonstrate a way of thinking about the world that no longer makes sense? This perspective on looking at your work, I think, is really interesting because it allows you to step outside of your work in many cases. And again, since all of the second degree tools are about that relativity in space and time and in society, I think it's entirely appropriate to look at a Mason's work from that perspective of will it stand the test of time. As we are going through as well, the time conversation that comes out of the level where you're evaluating your own work also applies to evaluating your other people's work as well. And so what that means is you really can start to look at the time that other people have spent to try and solve a given problem and go, is this a place where I can add value or add my voice? That looking across the landscape of the work that's being done by individuals, by organizations, and all that kind of stuff, the level really does help point out a fair amount as well in that space. It helps you look at all of the activity that human beings tend to take on and evaluate it from that perspective, which I think is really useful.
The views represented in this podcast are those of the speaker alone and are not representative of any grand or subordinate lodge.
Hi, Brian here. I wanted to thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you have any suggestions or guidance for further episodes you'd like to see or hear, whatever the case may be, please don't hesitate to reach out to me at amasonswork.com, and we will try and incorporate your suggestions into a future recording. Thanks.
Freemasonry teaches us that the true work is within, a lifelong journey of reflection, discipline, and discovery. At A Mason's Work, we help Masons bring out their best selves through meaningful self-inquiry and symbolic practice. From personal reflection to lodge engagement, we offer tools that turn symbols into action. Visit us at amasonswork.com. The work is within. The time is now.